Hello, friends. Over the past year, I've had the privilege of engaging with deep thinking guests around actionable conversations on how to navigate crises before us with moral courage, fortitude, and hope. To celebrate our 1 year anniversary and the first 16 episodes of Facing the Moment, we're bringing back what listeners indicated were some of the most impactful segments. Conversations that moved people, challenged perspectives, and inspired action. In this short video, you'll hear a few inspiring insights from different voices, each sharing a point of view that could shift how we think, how we live, or how we lead. If something resonates with you, we invite you to listen to the full episodes and be part of this growing community of listeners. Let's get into it, shall we?
And in nonviolent communication method, in Marshall Rosenberg's work, the act of judging another person is the root of violence. The act of judging a group of people is the root of violence. When I am in the act of judging, evaluating, assessing you or a group of people, I am no longer in relationship or connection. It's what leads to violence. If I think that I can assess and evaluate you, rather than hear you and relate to you, I'm no longer in connection. I'm in a state of judgment, which leads to violence.
Anytime where people are creating groups of us versus them, if you're finding in the language that you're using about them, if you're finding in the energy towards them is requiring you to see them other than being a human being that deserve the rights and the dignity that you and your group live, we're in dangerous territory. And we're more likely to perpetuate a lot of the harms, the generational harms, the extermination of people that we're seeing today.
I think that one of my I have many painful experiences during these times. Especially painful was, for example, to hear how mother sing lullaby near the coffin of her son. Probably the last lullaby in her life for him. Or it was very painful to realize that the moment rocket fly, and you hear this explosion, and then you understand that it is the family who you know very closely doesn't live anymore just in 1 minute. These people was in your room next to you, and the other moment they kind of disappeared because somebody on the side of the neighboring country just push a button and decide to take these lives away.
The ego is present when you compare something and you think you're better or worse. And I think, yes, there was coexisting like as a theme, but it was also, this is why our religion is superior. And I think that superiority has just never been part of my anchor. I think as I started to come into my own sense of truth around faith and religion, it was so hard as a little girl to see some of my best friends and think they're going to go to hell. And that somehow I was part of a chosen group that was not, and they were. And when I would think about people that I had looked up to with such high morals, like Mother Teresa, like Gandhi, like Martin Luther King Jr., and to think all these people were going to be going to hell because they weren't like in my club, they weren't a Muslim like me. I just could never get on board with that. But that was my parents' belief.
I think if I say a grueling conflict, like you named it, whether spiritual, physical, or psychological / mental, emotional, I would say it's the conflict where the person would be clinging to an idea and refusing to let it go. And this way, whether internally or externally with others, or between groups, or between me and myself and my own system and my own parts, like we say in IFS. So the conflict will be really difficult to solve, because somewhere I'm really refusing to consider something else other than the place where I am. And that's where, on the physical level, where you find yourself in a situation of illness, of challenge in your body somewhere, and then you're refusing to see the world from a different perspective. You only want to see it from the filter of this challenge that you have. So it stops being a challenge, even if it's a difficult one. It becomes a really difficult conflict going on within you.
Thank you for listening to this video compilation and to the Facing the Moment podcast. If this message inspired you, we invite you to support the work we're doing. Your donation helps us continue sharing meaningful stories that impact lives around the world. Please visit foundationifs.org and hit the donate button to give. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you for the next episode.